What is up, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Danny Show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody, giving you commentary and reviews on all things wrestling, and thank you guys for watching. Tonight, WWE Raw came to us from Cleveland, Ohio. For those of you who didn't see it earlier today, I released a review on my top 10 favorite matches to take place in the city of Cleveland, so please be sure to check that out. That being said, let's talk about tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. A very interesting episode of Monday Night Raw. Penta continues to win, this time against Ludwig Kaiser, despite the outside disruption with the presence of Pete Dunne. And Ludwig Kaiser is a sore loser. Also, we saw New Day with their new theme defeat Rey Mysterio and Kalisto. By the way, Kalisto went for an amazing Hurricanrana onto Xavier Woods, which was the highlight of that match, by the way. By the way, we saw Logan Paul, who, as I mentioned in my review earlier today, is from Cleveland, yet everyone thinks he still sucks. So be sure to check out my review on top 10 Cleveland matches. I'll tell you more on those details. But in any event, thanks to outside interference, New Day won the match. We would see Io Sky and Liv Morgan, who started the Women's Royal Rumble match and went most of the distance. Roxanne Perez lasted longer. Much respect to her. However, that night belonged to Charlotte. We'll speak of Charlotte in just a second. But tonight we saw Io and Liv go at it. And unfortunately, Rhea Ripley came out with the intent to help Io Sky, but accidentally got Liv the win by disqualification. This was all attempted to be vengeance for the backstage attack on Io and Ripley involving Raquel and Liv Morgan. Liv wins by disqualification because Rhea Ripley let her emotions get the better of her, and now we got her in the Elimination Chamber. Hopefully, Io Sky gets into the Elimination Chamber. She was very upset. She was speaking in her Japanese language, but she was very upset with the accidental actions of Rhea. But hopefully, she gets another chance to be in the chamber. Speaking of the women of the Royal Rumble, tonight, I will say this. The reaction that Charlotte got from Cleveland, I was not expecting that, but I am not surprised by it. Because if you see my review, you know that I have the utmost respect for Charlotte and her accomplishments, and am somewhat a fan of Charlotte when she's not a kayfabe villain. When she's kayfabe hero, I root for her. When she's villain, I root against her because I'm a natural-born pro-face guy, traditional fan. But tonight I was not expecting, but I was not surprised because obviously you've seen me say that I didn't think Charlotte needed that victory. However, I did think she could have a one-on-one dream match with someone, dream rivalry that didn't involve championships. Because if you look back on the career of The Undertaker could have matches with people like Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and no championships on the line. He can have matches with, if you will, Heidenreich. Believe it or not, and I apologize that I did not make this an honorary mention, but Heidenreich versus The Undertaker at Survivor Series to me was a very underrated match. And it had no titles on the line, but it was still a great match to me. And by the way, I'm again sorry it's not an honorary mention on there, but it should have been, and I'm putting it here. However, going forward, that's what I think they should have booked Charlotte Flair to be like, in my humble opinion. However, she is still going for the championship, so the question is, does she go for Rhea, Tiffany, or Julia, who was in the Royal Rumble for whatever reason? I know this. I was not expecting it, but I understand why the crowd did it. Speaking of things that were surprising, Jey Uso always opens up Raw in the best form. I was eating. We had fun. I didn't expect Jey to be very emotional, but it was an emotional moment. Jey Uso definitely deserves it. I don't know who I want him to choose for WrestleMania. All I know is whoever he chooses, I hope he wins. That's all I'm going to say. Back now to the main event. We have Seth Rollins came out looking like a cowboy, almost a WWE version of James Storm. Almost. Or should I say, Seth Rollins looks like Jesus turned Western. But in any event, he came out and talked about what happened last night. I hope Roman Reigns isn't too banged up that he can't make it to WrestleMania. But in any event, Seth Rollins came out and gave Sami Zayn a motivational speech. However, despite all of that, and a great match, by the way, tonight we had a great match with Sami Zayn and CM Punk. But despite all of that, CM Punk, unfortunately for Sami, won. However, more unfortunately for Sami, his best friend Kevin Owens, who miraculously is alive, showed up and attacked Sami Zayn. Why is this happening? In my humble opinion, I'm a huge WWE fan, been a fan since childhood, probably will be till the day the good Lord calls me in. However, why are we doing this again? How many? I don't know if we need this. But if we get it, I will say this. I hope the match is good. I hope the build up is good because we've done this before. Just like with Rhea and Charlotte, we've done this before. However, Steve Austin and Stone Cold have fought at The Rock at WrestleMania 3 times. We might get a trifecta with Rhea and Charlotte. I don't know. All I know is let it be good because the last one was almost 5 stars. Nonetheless, why are they doing this again? I don't know, but let's just hope that part 2 of Kevin Owens versus Sami WrestleMania is as good, if not better, than the first. Why are we doing it? I don't know. Just make it good. That's all the time I have for you today. Let me know your thoughts on the Danny Show on this review of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. I'm your host, Dan Cody. And again, be sure to check out my top 10 favorite matches from Cleveland, Ohio. I will link it to you. That's all the time I have. Have a great week, everyone. See you next time.